Perfect. That's why I think, I don't know, mics are not overrated, but they have their purpose in certain scenarios. For this, you're fine.
Like, you have a good mic too, right? Like,
no, like honestly, it's my webcam. My webcam and has a mic built in, and I just.
Do you still use your webcam mic?
Yes.
Dude,
I know. I'm saving up. I want to make sure that at least I'm only spending like 2% of my earnings when I make a purchase on equipment. So I need to wait. Just that.
Okay, Mark Cuban.
I need to make sure that everything is scalable. So that would be. In 3 years, I'll get a nice mic.
Oh Jesus.
You know.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I used that mic twice or so for like some voice recordings, and the sound is so clear, man.
Okay, yeah, I forget which you sent it to me. I think, right? You sent me a picture. Yeah, as I have it in the chat somewhere. So I'm definitely.
Not that expensive, I think.
No, I looked it up. It was actually less than $100. I think it was like it was like 80 or 90, which is like, again, that's like 50% of my earnings monthly. But so. If you if you factor in interest, I could have it by 2025. But what's been up, man? How's your father? I mean, how's your daughter? How's your daughter? Oh, I messed it up.
You did mess it up. I'm gonna leave.
So
no,
how was France? How was Frankrijk?
That's good. It was just a few days, right? But
what is that place called? Anus?
Annecy.
Oh, Annecy. Okay. Oh, like on the sea. It means on the sea, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, so that's nice. I mean, yeah, vacations are nice. I would really like one outside of going to like the beach, you know, the Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore.
It's not necessarily a vacation to me anymore.
No.
It's more like work outside of work.
Right. 1 second.
Oh, sure. What?
I need to send me a funny video.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's quite funny. Not gonna lie.
What video was that?
It's like a video of Putin doing something funny.
Well, Putin videos are good.
Exactly.
Is Putin doing something? What did he address the nation and say that like? Never mind. I couldn't figure it. I was gonna try to work that into a joke. No, I'm totally fried. My mind's totally fried because I was outside too much today.
Yeah. No, dude, everything's good, man.
But are you guys basically done like with lockdown and everything, or how's that work?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, yeah. In terms of lockdown, there's not much lockdown going on. There's like certain parts of Belgium here and there, you know, that are quote unquote locked down again. But overall, I mean, we just kind of live with it now. You know, I'm still working from home. You know.
Yeah, but how so? What is living with it? Because I'll tell you in a second what I'm seeing around.
Okay.
You know.
It's I mean, okay, so there's a difference to here and, for example, in France. Right? So in France, my parents, or my mom and Peter, right? They always go there on like a camping, you know, like a camping place.
Yeah.
And there, it's just, you know, like so many people in one spot, you know, just like chilling together, like 15, 20 people. Not us, you know, but like the neighbors and stuff. Like there wasn't really much going on. But then here, for example, like I mean, yeah, you go outside, you pretty much have your mask on you.
Always outside, always.
I mean, not necessarily when I walk out the door immediately, you know, but whenever I go somewhere for real, unless I go like just for a walk outside, then not really.
What about like did you go into the city, like downtown Ghent?
Yeah, there's a
mask like on the sidewalk.
Yeah, you have to wear them there. Yeah.
Okay, they'll say something, the polite.
Exactly, there's actually a lot of police
like enforcing masks.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, because that's the thing, because at least some of the guys I follow on Instagram, at least that are in Germany, I mean, I know you're in Belgium. Germany is maybe a different story, but
definitely
they aren't following it as in terms of like the contrast, at least how we're portrayed in the news, of how reckless we are as Americans, which from what I see from like the stories and the posts, like people are going to restaurants and outdoor lounges and they're on top of each other in Germany as well. Even just like Kollegah, for example, his Alpha Lounge in Dusseldorf, like they're all over. There's like 100 people there, all together at a shisha bar. So why are the cases so high in America, but it's not so alarming? Are we just that unhealthy? Is that it? Is the obesity? Is it like a multifaceted issue like that? Do you think?
I don't know, man.
It's not just the mask. It's not just the mask. It can't be.
No, I don't know. Like, I mean, first of all, of course, you guys are just the population is just so much higher.
You know? We're a lot more dense.
There's going to be so many more cases.
Yeah.
I know that per capita, you also have more cases. You know, so that is true. But like, exactly why? I mean, I haven't really been to Germany lately, so I really can't speak much for it. You know, I know that, for example, Netherlands and Belgium, they're handling completely differently, right? Netherlands doesn't even have a mask mandate anywhere. You know, they just tell you should wear a mask. You know, but it's not mandatory anywhere. Like I went to the store a few weeks ago when I was in the Netherlands. I was the only one there wearing a mask. You know, me and Anissa, the only ones wearing a mask.
That's fascinating. Inside.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the grocery store, and here in Belgium, it's mandatory. So like you go here, and everyone will wear a mask.
But what are their cases like in Netherlands?
Lower than in Belgium. yeah.
Why?
It's
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Is it climate? No, you have the same climate.
Yeah. I mean, there's. I think various factors depends on, you know, how like certain age groups, you know, like behave, especially younger people. You know, some just like don't care. Like I can never speak for like the majority of the country. You know, I can only speak for the things that I'm seeing. You know, and I'm only here in a small area, but I don't know. You know what other people are doing, and also, you know, you see a lot of parties going on still. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, you see the one here. They turned the power off for that house. Did you see that? This TikTok house.
I didn't see that, no.
There's like these TikTokers, you know, it's crazy, you know, this TikTok phenomenon where like all these, you know, they're famous on TikTok and they're getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars, 17, 18-year-old kids, and moving out to, you know, Beverly Hills and buying mansions together. And they had a party of like 200 people, and you know, California is extremely progressive, and they're like, you know, they just pulled the cord and cut their water, their power, because they wouldn't disband the party. And yeah, nice or no, I mean, that's just like who decide, you know. And then the argument I heard at least on the Joe Rogan podcast was that like Dan Bilzerian has done the same thing, but they didn't do it to him. So it's like, well, how do you choose? How do you choose like who you know, whose power you turn off? It's kind of like, I don't know, because they're kids. Of course, that's not like a really common group that's discriminated against, but
if you talk about enforcement,
I kind of agree with it. I agree with it, but I think it goes against kind of what makes like America, like we do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, I mean,
which gets us into trouble, but it also leads to other great things.
Yeah, I mean, you should. Everyone has their opinion on it, right? Like, if California says, okay, mass gathering or gatherings of people over, you know, like of more than 20 people or whatever are, you know, prohibited, then there shouldn't be, you know, like, okay, it shouldn't be a case by case basis, you know, unless of course it's something, I don't know, something essential, you know.
Yeah. Well, this was over the top. It was like 200 people crammed into a house.
Yeah, I mean, that's an absolute no-go, in my opinion. You know, because the science is there. You know how it spreads, and especially younger people. So I don't know. I don't think that's excusable, regardless of, you know. But if you talk to Peter, for example, you know, he thinks that it's also like it's not. He thinks it's good that the state just, you know, the state just says you should do this, you should do that, you know. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to, you know, actually enforce it yourself. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree with that, but also I think Netherlands is a different animal because of the population. And
yeah, and I don't agree with that at all, because I think people are stupid. You know?
Yeah. Oh, so, I was going to say that. I think people are more stupid. I think we're stupider here, though. I think Netherlands, a majority, the people are a lot more mature and responsible. Or would you just say people are people and they're just dumb everywhere?
Yeah, I would actually say that. You know, yes, okay. I would also assume that, you know, on average, maybe we're a bit more, you know, like mature or educated, whatever you want to say, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still
open-minded.
You know, there's enough people though, you know, that can ruin it.
Like, we just have like flat out science refuters, people that argue, that are like the anti-vaxxers, the flat earthers. Like, they live and breathe in America, as far as I'm concerned, right? As far as I know.
I mean, you have them everywhere too, you know.
Sure.
The movement that I would think is, of course, the biggest in America, you know. But we had
I just lost 2 anti-vaxxer subscribers.
In Germany, there was a demonstration recently of 10,000 people, you know.
Against vaccines?
That was against the mask thing, you know. But those are people that are, you know, like believing in those conspiracies, not just with the mask, but, you know, I think a lot of them probably also believe in, you know, vaccines, like the vaccines conspiracies, etc. And all of the 10,000 people, none of them wearing a mask. All of them, you know, gathered together. Of course, you know, it's proven that it spreads less when you're outside, you know, in fresh air.
Yeah.
Like closed rooms are the worst. So like, it wasn't even. I don't even think it was that bad. You know, the result in terms of COVID, but you never know because it takes weeks, and most of them don't get tested anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's. It's like a broken record at this point. Like you've had this conversation 25,000 times, and everyone says, "Oh, hope it gets better soon. Hope we can be better next 2021." Blah 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 blah. It's crazy. It might just be the new reality, but I hate. You know, that's like, as negative as that is, it's like kind of more realistic, but
probably is. Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, let's transition into the meat of, or at least the purpose of this call. But first, let's. I would like to first address a couple things. And
by the way, did you get some did you see like a surge and followers or something after they were like reposted?
No, didn't do anything. I was actually shocked with it for UU, right? Yeah. No, I thought like. I actually wanted it so badly that when I woke up in the morning and saw that, my 145 views on my video, because that's like what it's at right now. Right. I wanted it so badly. You want something so badly, you start to see whatever.
No, of course.
I saw 145,000 views, and I was like, no way! And then I had to like squint and look because I had just woken up, so I was kind of delirious and hopeful, and then. Yeah, it turned out, no, it didn't have any effect, mostly because it was on Instagram, and it was a second-hand post. I wasn't posting it. There was no link to my account, so it's fine. I think it's cool that, like, you know, she saw, like, you saw my face and heard my lovely voice, so we're that much closer to marrying.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I care about.
It's pretty much
like,
safe bet.
Yeah, what if I come up, I don't know, anywhere else? And she's like, oh, I've seen him before, you know what I mean? She's more likely to watch it now, which is super cool. But
I mean, I saw that and I was like, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, she was doing it was like a fan thing, you know. She's posted a lot of other people's, but still. But anyway, also I told you about this my own conspiracy theories, right? How I'm not American.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
you know, I don't know. I part of me just wants to like not address it, but also like I don't know, like just quickly like gloss over like our relationship. So I mean, we met like it's crazy. It's like 7 years ago, almost 8.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Isn't that insane? So 8 years ago, you were like listening to, I think, Hallelujah, because like Jot Begay 2 just came out, and I was like, what are you listening to?
Yeah, that was probably one of the first ones I played.
That was the first one. I specifically remember it was Hallelujah, and then it was Drive By.
Right, those two.
Yeah, those were the two that I just like.
I remember blasting them on those old school speakers you had in your little dorm.
Oh my God! Yeah, in my dorm, in the there's Lax Bros, there's lacrosse players, you know, outside, and I was like,
they got really pissed.
Oh man, that's so yeah. So, I mean, you were pretty much the entry to all of this, which is so weird. To also just namely because like I didn't understand anything then, and then it kind of turned into like kind of a sick hobby, and and then on the flip side for you, you just totally don't give a shit about like German rap, right? I'm not like you used to, but you don't follow it anymore.
Yeah, well, I never followed it as intensely as you do now, right?
Okay,
before, never in my life.
You were so passionate about hood tape, Zuhälter tape, Kollegah, and that kind of just rubbed off on me naturally because you were the only German I knew for years, you know? So I was like, well, this is German culture, Kollegah. This is it.
I mean, to be fair, now he kind of is, you know, he's like one of maybe the biggest name in the German rap scene, I would assume, or not?
Unfortunately, no, because of what streaming has done. It's kind of introduced music to a lot younger kids, and it's all about quick, fast, fun songs that have no meaning, and that's kind of like sadly where it's heading. And you even see Kollegah, a lot of his songs now, like he doesn't do 3 verses anymore or whatever. He doesn't do, you know, he's just doing 2 verses. You know, the songs are under 3 minutes. It's really a shame. Very rare you see a song that goes over 3 minutes.
It is a shame because I remember starting to listen to Kollegah when I was like, that was like probably 11 years ago or so.
Oh shit, like, yeah.
So that's so long ago, and he wasn't big. No one.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Like, and me and one of my buddies in Germany, we started to like listen to.
Was that Alphagena, the first one? You think?
Oh, it was probably. There were even some RBR rap battles.
Yeah. I've heard. I just discovered those.
Yeah, but like it started like with Alphagena, and then you had what you had, and then you had like his first. I mean, his first major single that made it into like a little bit of mainstream was probably Big Boss.
Big Boss, yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
I think it was that one, and then you had Herbst.
I don't know that one.
Stuff. And like, and I remember like, and then like Hotel One and all that stuff. It was he was just so different, from what you knew at the time.
Because he's so much smarter. He's just more creative.
Yeah, exactly.
So much more creative.
So much more sophisticated.
Yeah, a little more sophisticated with the words, and that's kind of,
right.
I've had the Universalgenie lyrics pulled up for the last 15 minutes, so it's funny.
Yeah.
And that's and that's why I brought you here, just because this third verse is, for whatever reason, so much more difficult than the first and second verse. And the reason I'm doing this too is, one, there are, you can find the interpretations in German on, I think, Genius here. But I looked and scoured YouTube to see if there was any translation, video, or interpretation from German to English.
Probably not.
For this song. No, not for this song. I also I want to do Apocalypse and Armageddon. But these ones are so much longer. Oh my god. And like, I don't know. I think it's really cool, at least if I'm not like the first to do, American rap reactions, at least I can be the first one to do whatever, transcribe the lyrics in this way. And I don't know, because I actually had a guy DM me, shout out to you, guy in London, I forget your name, sorry, but he was like, hey, like, I'm really into the German music, like, I don't really understand it, I love your videos, and like, that was really cool, because that was kind of me, 6 years ago, trying to understand it faster, like, literally writing the words, not knowing the words, looking up them individually, translating it literally and not really getting the meaning but kind of knowing it. And of course, like, asking you when you were, in a good mood to tell me. I mean, what? Best friend.
No, but you know, I think
no, it's not easy.
You were definitely the first one to do it. You know, in terms of reacting and actually knowing, like as an American or you know, an English-speaking native, to react to Kollegah or to German music and actually knowing, you know, what they're talking about, because you see so many reaction videos and it's just literally reacting to, you know, the beat and then just the flow and it's there's no content there.
Surface
you know?
level stuff. Which is like, you know, I do that stuff because I think I do enjoy the songs, but to really, in terms of like really deep appreciation, Kollegah is like, I mean, something else. Savage also has really good lines.
Right.
You know, Zito sometimes, and then there's Shindy.
Well, I mean,
Shindy's cultural. Yeah. He's like the Kanye West of Germany, because he experiments with like weird stuff.
I mean, everyone, you know, as a rapper, you can have such a big influence on, you know, on culture in general, and not even have to be like, you know, lyrically as advanced as Kollegah. For example, if you look at Zito and, you know, Bushido, and at that time, they're probably still the greatest, or the biggest rappers in Germany.
They're biggest names, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's not like they didn't really have any, you know, lines that would just blow you out of the water. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, for Bushido, for example, a lot of storytelling, but you know, in a simple way, you know, about the struggles, you know, living in Germany, etc. And Zito kind of the same thing. You know, it was more. You know, like it's completely different, but it still had its place, you know, at the time.
Which, I mean, I guess just to go off topic like one more time, I've been to Berlin literally I was there for 3 days, way back in like 2016 with Valeria, and
shout out to Valeria.
And I didn't get a chance to go to like the ruins of the wall, but from what you used to tell me, that the difference between East and West Berlin, and even East Germany and West Germany, was like really big in terms of like economic like opportunities, right? And just kind of prosperity. And I guess that's mostly where Zito and you know, I think he's not from Berlin, or is he?
I think Zito is, yeah.
Okay, and Bushido as well. These guys that are from like the heart of Berlin, right? So like, have you ever been to one of these like theaters or whatever, the blocks that they talk about? Or?
Right. No, actually, I have not. I mean, I've also only visited Berlin once or twice, maybe.
Oh wow, oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Just no interest.
It's not my
gar kein Bock.
You know, I did the you know, this, of course you visit all the important things, etc. But Berlin is just not. It's not for me, you know. Like I'm not a big fan of the city. So I can look at you while I talk. You know, you don't have to.
Oh, you see me. You see me though, right?
I see you, yeah.
Okay, so it's more of like a monkey in a cage type of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's go. I've gone. Let's see. So I made a spreadsheet, and I have the original line, the literal translation, which you can help me with because I did that myself, and then the interpretation, which again I'm mostly taking from Genius, but also going into, have some sources over here, which I'm not going to get too much into, but it's difficult. You're more versed, I feel like, on religion and these like, you guys in like these like Greek mythology, or am I wrong?
He's using a lot of like mythology and just like philosophical lines. You know?
And yeah, we don't touch any of that. I mean, the surface of it maybe in college, but in terms of like high school, you don't see a lot of it. At least not where I went. But so let me read the first line, and I'll read the first 3 lines, and then we'll go into what I have, and you tell me at least what you think the translation is, because again, I just don't. When I posted the first and second parts, like I got a lot of comments like, oh, like super good, and like I love the feedback, but like I was wrong on some of them, and I kind of want to make sure this one is really good. So, he closes the song and he says, die Menschheit ist auf Wanderschaft wie Karawan, auf verzweifelte Suche nach Kanaan wie Abraham. Which, that one's not too complicated. I don't think so. At least, it kind of is. It's like the...
But you talk about you start with the third verse now, is that correct?
Yes, third verse,
right,
yeah.
Did
you pull it up or no? I can.
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now just so I can...
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, die Menschheit ist auf Wanderschaft wie Karawan, auf verzweifelte Suche nach Kanaan wie Abraham. And so what I wrote is, humanity is like wandering, like a lost caravan, on a desperate search for Canaan, like Abraham. I had no idea before this who Canaan or Abraham. I seriously, I have no knowledge of these religious figures.
Right.
And what I found was that, first of all, what do you think about the translation?
I think it was correct, right? So you said humanity is, on a Wanderschaft, right? So they're
just like a
continuous travel, pretty much.
Yeah, but and the point is of this line, like on a verzweifelte, right, means desperate. Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought doubtful, but I know you can say it's doubtful, no?
No, you would say desperate. Yeah.
Okay. And so what that means is like the human spirit is like ambitious, but at times like really with no true course, right? Because we
exactly.
At all stages. No, go ahead.
The third line that comes in, right? So
yeah, he ties it in here. Yeah.
Yeah, it leads up to the third line where he says, some pray to Allah, some to God, the other, and so you can kind of like see what he's trying to say with the first two lines. So
yeah.
Which is exactly what you said, right? Like,
okay. Yeah.
The spirit, human soul is just constantly evolving, but also just sometimes just not sure,
But also kind of limited because of the speed of evolution. It's not really, our brains are kind of a little stagnated, at least for the last 200,000 years.
We're putting a lot of things in there now, of course, but I think it's not actually far-fetched. If you just if you read through it, it makes sense. It's pretty much him saying that people are constantly on the search for for meaning, for anything that gives them purpose in life.
Okay, right. So like religion, a lot of people, they cling to religion.
Exactly.
Die einen beten Allah an, beten Gott oder Jahwe an, und viele ohne es zu wissen, I love this line, und viele ohne es zu wissen, beten Satan an. So, of course, they're worshipping all these different figures, but without knowing, they're worshipping, some of them are worshipping Satan, which, okay, the third line clarifies why, and this one, still, I'm not too familiar with Pandora's box, to be honest. I hear the phrase thrown around a lot, but I don't know the actual origin. I was reading foolishly the German explanation. I didn't get the full meaning. So like because of these this worship and also worshiping Satan, the world is denn die Welt, in der wir leben, ist die Dose von Pandora. Wir benehmen uns wie Dionysus in Sodom and Gomorrah, which are, so Dionysus was just like really bad guy who was like obsessed with like sex and partying apparently.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But what about this Leben? This life is like the Pandora's box. Like as soon as you set out to understand life, you just get lost, really. Or it just becomes more complicated?
Yeah, because like I think it also ties back to the line before, right? When he says that many without knowing are praying to Satan, which is just him saying, right, that many are living a wrong life, pretty much, right? Or many are being led on the wrong path, maybe through religion, but I don't necessarily think that that's what he's what he intended to say. Just in general, like the people are choosing to do the wrong things, and then he says because the world that we live in, right, is like the box of Pandora, right, which is I believe also coming from like Greek mythology, right?
Yeah.
Which represented, just like the unknowns, right? Like usually the bad things in life, right? That we didn't know yet. And
right.
I think the story was once you open, right?
You can't. These evils, exactly. These sins come out and they cannot be put back.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's like a catch, right? Sorry.
Like a what?
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. Go continue.
No, I'm just saying, like, then you already explained it pretty well. Then the next time, right? It's like we're behaving like Dionysos, which you explained. I actually didn't know, but it makes a lot of sense. That's a guy that or a god. I don't know if it was probably not a god.
Yeah, he was like the brother of like some figure, like Hercules' cousin or something. Not really, but like something along those lines.
Yeah, but he was just.
He was like the bad son.
Chasing the evils, right?
With the instant gratifying,
the artificial
happiness,
stuff like that, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's quite deep. I think it's very well written, right? To get his point across.
It all rhymes too. Let's not forget that it's all rhyming, which is so.
This is something that it's unfortunate that if you translate it into English, that this is a part that often gets lost, right?
That's the hardest part of doing this.
Exactly. The beauty of it, lyrically rhyming and stuff. It's just it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And and then here again, so just like Dionysus, chasing these like instant gratifying things, like it says, es regiert das goldene Kalb, Schule Archimedes lassen neulich den Turmbau zum Babel in den Volke verhalten. This one again, I had to do. Every line I had to look something up. I really don't know the stories of these like Turmbau zu Babel, which apparently are you aware of it?
Which one?
The Turmbau zu Babel.
No, that one actually I'm not.
So apparently, the citizens of Babel or whatever this town.
I think this is a Bible story though, right?
Yes, they built this tower that would bring them into the heavens, because they wanted to find God, and and what God did was He toppled the tower and made all of them blind, I think. They were unable to hear and unable to see, and He dispersed the town in different parts of the world so that they would never be able to communicate on how to get back up to God. I think that's kind of what it is. I think.
That's.
So
I'm also reading through this, and like half the things that he says, I just never heard of. Like,
are you on Genius?
I'm reading through the lyrics. I don't know if it's Genius. It is.
Okay. So when you click on the lines, they have a community.
I see that you can click on it. I haven't done that yet, but okay.
So they try to explain it, but it's so complicated.
So the Turmbau zu Babel. That's quite interesting. Yeah.
And then so you're dealing with that concept and also the Schule Archimedes.
Yeah, but he says that the Schule Archimedes, they're the ones that are
renewing it. Yeah.
No, because verhallen doesn't means like more like fading away. Right?
Oh.
Yeah. So it makes sense because.
Go ahead.
Because Archimedes, right, was a Greek mathematician, right?
Yeah.
And he, which says that his pupils.
So his school of thought, we can say.
Yeah, well, he says his students, right? So
his students.
He was their teacher, and they're his pupils, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that are. Neuerlich, right? So just recently, are like fading out the building of the tower to Babel, right?
It's not obviously. It's a metaphor for what? Curiosity.
No, but didn't you just say that the Turmbautzauber was a tower they built in order to get to heaven? Is that correct?
And I'm taking that from Genius, which you have to, and from German, so it's like 95% true.
Okay. Well, if let's assume that is correct. Yeah. So that's what it says, right? It was an effort to reach God in some weird way, right?
Yeah.
But it means that they're recently started to kind of like get rid of that, right? And instead, das goldene Kalb here, right? So I'm not too familiar with the golden calf.
So,
I think it's called the sin of the calf in English.
That one's kind of I think it's actually a little more simple because the golden calf I think represents materialism.
I mean, it would make sense for sure. I haven't looked it up, so I can't say. But I mean, just from reading the line, that's also what I was thinking. So he's saying pretty much that materialism has taken over, and
like
I mean, yeah, but, if you look at the lines afterwards, it actually makes sense because the Archimedes' Schüler, right? So they're the ones that should be advancing society, right? Because
they're scientific, they're smart,
exactly.
Yeah, experimenting like responsibly with science and facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so they're the ones that are, I mean, but they were never like religious people, right? So this actually makes sense if they're the ones that are kind of like abandoning or getting rid of the thought of getting close to God, right? Because they're very scientific people. Is that correct?
Who?
Because
which ones?
The Schüler Archimedes.
Yeah. So it's based off of that, like, yeah, that they're more prone to like looking beneath the surface and not taking this, like, not being mistaken, or at least not being manipulated by like folk, myths and legends, but actually questioning, asking big questions and not just falling in line and becoming like.
What I'm wondering right now is just if he thinks it's a positive or a negative, right? Because I know that Kollegah is a religious person himself, right?
Oh,
but then he
converted to Muslim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I don't know if he thinks it's good, or not. But then if you look at the next line, right, du kannst dein Kruzifix tragen, und dann auch wandeln auf blutigen Pfaden in Lucifer's Namen, right? So there he says it also, right? You can, pretty much he says that you can, on the surface, right, be a religious person.
But, yeah.
But at the same time, and then of course, we all know some of the biggest posers out there are the people that are pretending to be the closest to God,
like
right?
like the pedophilia rings in the Vatican,
the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
these. You have you have them in every religion. You have those. Those people. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, just I guess, kind of cautioning humanity to continue, or at least just saying, hey, like, stop looking at the story for what it is and ask hard questions. But I like this line mostly because this one, du kannst ein Kruzifix tragen und dann auch wandeln auf blutige Pfaden in Lucifers Namen und mutige Taten, the rhyme scheme is so nice. Und mutige Taten wie den Aufstand der Kelten unter blutiges Fahnen, blutig Yeah, go ahead, you can say it better.
I mean, just look at those rhymes, man.
It's sick. It's too sick.
It's insane because it's so like everything is so philosophical. It's just the lines combined with what they mean, and it's just so impressive.
Yeah, and so, but just to clarify, zerschlagen I understand every word except for zerschlagen just means to be like. Would you say smashed or destroyed, or like?
I would say probably crushed. Probably crushed. Would be the better word.
Like if I stop, so I like finished a beer and like crush the can.
I mean, yes, if you just crush it, if you actually, if it actually just bursts apart.
Like, ich hab ein Bierdosen zerschlagen. Like that?
Yeah, you probably couldn't.
Or no one says that.
Yeah, but you can't do that because beer dosen aren't made of glass. Probably can, or like materials that can break, like zerschlagen. But in that sense.
But he says blutig zerschlagen, but humans cannot be smashed or blood.
Yeah, I know, but that's the meaning that he has. I mean, if I have to think about a different word, it's maybe smashed, but like zerschlagen it just means in that way that they
like brutally attacked or hit or punched.
Crushed the Aufstand der Kelten.
Yeah,
right?
this revolution of the Celts. Which again, just kind of off topic, but have you listened to Hardcore History from Dan Carlin, the Celtic Holocaust? It's so interesting. It's all about this. It's all about the Romans and how they decimated the Celts, which were basically the Germans. The not ancient, but like medieval Germans.
Right.
Super. He's like for 5 hours, man. He goes into every single detail, all of the campaigns, all of the battles. Really cool. If you really anyone interested in going into that, and then seit zu vielen Jahren unterwarf die Welt sich Helden, die wie der Jupiter strahlten, doch bloß Trugbilder waren. So this one is pretty selbstverständlich, right?
Yeah, right.
Like,
and then he goes on and lists, some examples.
Exactly. So the false heroes, right? People following these prophesized heroes that turn out to be mortal and kind of not these like heavenly beings. So Jezus am Kreuz, like he was killed. Prometheus on the rock, also killed, and then I don't know this one. Is this? I think he wrote a folk song.
Which one?
Rosenzweige.
Yeah, like branches of roses.
No, it's a. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's all it is? Because here in the interpretation, and that's why I guess it's.
Right. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, but you think that's too far-fetched, what they're trying to say there?
I don't know. I mean, it might be, but I think that. I mean, at least on the first look, I thought it was just trying to explain, the ladder of the line, right? Because he says that our prophesied Helden, and then are breaking like Rosenzweige, right?
Yeah, I mean, is it a double meaning, like for the? Because here they're talking about this folk lead, and I tried to understand it. I don't get it.
I didn't see that. But that being said, I mean, I'm not an expert in any way, so
yeah.
It might be, but I don't know. Maybe he meant it.
Okay, well, if somebody wants to add later, that's fine. And then this one is nice because we kind of get more modern. It says,
exactly.
Erdbeben sind Herzschläge totgeweihter Welten. Right? Geweihter?
Totgeweihter,
Geweihte Welten, in denen bloß Rechte in Not vereinter Obrigkeiten gelten. So, Earth.
This is like a very reoccurring topic.
Yeah.
Yes, there's so many songs, right? The suppression of the top 1%, pretty much. That's what it's referring to.
To exploit countries for their resources,
Yep.
and they see none of that value that's extracted, and they're kind of, just.
Yeah, it's just saying that we live in a world where a few rich people get to dictate, what happens. Pretty much
millions, billions, of people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's still a cool place. He said Erdbeben sind Herzschläge, like.
It's really a nice line. Yeah.
He's saying like the earthquakes are more like heartbeats of a wounded world or like a dying world, right?
Yeah.
Because we're also so one. You can say you can take it like this dying world or the doomed world of the actual people, or the actual the natural resources that we're depleting at alarming rates.
I mean,
or do you not take it there?
It's probably a very general line, right? He's probably referring to everything.
Okay. Yeah.
I would at least that's what I'm getting from it, right? Because he doesn't go into any specifics, but if you say Kollegah havent, right, then you're pretty much referring to
the world,
to the world as exactly as a whole,
like the society,
right?
Yeah. And then he says, die Geschichte ist ein sich wiederholender Zyklus, doch im Raster verwoben sind Muster eines heroischen Mythos. So this one is, I don't understand this one.
I think it's a brilliant line, to be honest.
Okay. So what do you think?
So what I think he's saying is, right, he's saying that the history is a reoccurring
got that.
cycle.
Yeah.
Right. So what he means by that is pretty obvious, in my opinion. So if you look at, for example, just one example, I'm sure there's many more, like, right, how the Roman Empire fell, right? I'm not going to go into any details, but let's just say that I think that what he's trying to say is that, where we're heading currently with society, economics, capitalism, etc., right? It's bound to have an end eventually, right? It's bound to come to an end with a historic, fall of like the world as we know it.
A lot speculate that the next Rome will be America. Have you heard those conversations?
Exactly. So, I think this is exactly what he's talking about. Not necessarily America.
No,
but just,
I know. But
the recurring cycle of how empires and world orders, right, in general, are evolving, and then at the end they have an expiration date, right? Because
they just
of
can't.
The mistakes they make.
Yeah, they can't support themselves because they,
Exactly.
They're stretched.
Pretty sure what he's always says in other songs too is things like greed.
Well, yeah, if you go back to the first couple lines, or even just like Die Menschheit ist auf Wanderschaft wie Karawan, just the pure curiosity and greed, and just kind of the inability to just say, like, I got my share and I'm gonna stay put. Like, we're gonna stop spending, we're gonna stop invading and growing and blah blah blah. Like, no one's doing that.
Yep. No, exactly.
That's human nature.
Yeah. Well, it's a product also, of extreme capitalism. Obviously, I'm not saying capitalism is bad, because it has, of course, given us so much. But yes, the constant need for growth, right?
Yeah,
which is eventually not sustainable.
Yeah, no, it's not realistic.
Exactly. So so that's what he's probably talking about. Then he says, right, doch im Raster verwoben sind Muster eines heroischen Mythos. So what I think he's trying to say is that the reason that we don't really seem to understand it as a recurring cycle, right? Mm-hmm. Because if we would all see it that way, why aren't we actively trying to stop it?
Because we're blinded by these
because we
stories,
have been told these, this myths, right? And again, let me get back to capitalism, right? Because we have been told that it's the only way to live. You know what I mean? It's been so ingrained into our brains, right?
Right.
Media and stuff. I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
That everyone believes it, kind of like a religion, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to really understand it. You just have to believe in it, right?
Right. Wow. Yeah. Damn. And then, so, and here's where you mentioned before, you were talking about his religious affiliation and what that means to him in this song. He says, wir sind am Boden wie Pythons und die Götter da drüber. Doch ich erhebe mich wie Herakles, you guys say?
Yeah.
Herakles von den Köpfen der Hydra. I like this line, by just the way he says it.
Yeah, it's a nice.
It sounds good. I remember before I could really understand any of this, that was like the one that stuck out to me. Because at that point I was only listening to what the sounds were.
Agreed. It's also, again, it's a very good line, right?
Yeah. He says this is pretty also like obvious, right? That, or is it not? Like he's referring back to himself, obviously.
But
he's saying, like,
once again, it's and that's just because if this was Kollegah's only song where he varies, because he's still kind of subtle. Many people would just understand this as a you understand this as a criticism of like modern world. But at the same time, you think, oh, this is so philosophical, so it's very religious example, etc. You don't really maybe necessarily understand what exactly he's trying to say, but because he's been so outspoken about how he sees the current world order, right? In multiple songs.
Not just this song.
Exactly.
Even Armageddon is like a metaphor for that.
There's so many, and I think he's even like just in interviews spoken about it, openly.
Oh.
So I think that's why you can also here just go back and interpret it as, right. We are at the bottom, like pythons, right? So we're the humans. The majority of humans are just people
nothing.
on the bottom.
Yeah, we're nothing.
Yeah. Right, and the gods are, he's not referring to actual gods. He's referring to the gods of, capitalism.
The 1%. Yeah.
Exactly. That kind of stuff. And then he says, but I am rising, like Heracles, right? So Heracles was obviously the one that
fought the gods.
Beheaded all the the heads of the Hydra. So so he's saying, I'm rising up and I'm following my Bestimmung, meiner Besinnung, right? Kollegah, neue Zeiten beginnen. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, so good. But just to clarify before we close this out, wir sind am Boden. Is that a Redewendung? Is that a phrase you guys use?
Yeah, in German you can say if someone is, wenn jemand am Boden ist, right?
Like not doing well.
At your lowest. Right?
Okay. Like we say rock bottom, or we say.
You can compare it to rock bottom. We've hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily as dramatic, I think, as we've hit rock bottom. What he's saying,
Okay.
It's just, but I think it's what he means. That we are not necessarily at our lowest, but we are the lowest people in the pecking order.
Insignificant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wir sind am Boden. Okay. Like yeah. No, it makes sense. Like we're on the floor.
Exactly.
And then Bestimmung means I have determination. That's what I got. Bestimmung, or means something else in this?
Like my purpose,
my vision.
Whatever. Yeah, like my destiny, pretty much almost. It's like I'm following my destiny. Like this is what I was determined. What I'm determined to do, what I was meant to do.
Meine Bestimmung. Okay. My destiny. Okay, and I write it in English and follow my destiny. It just doesn't make sense. Consciousness.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, does it follow my destiny? Like.
Yeah, like.
I guess if you start out poor, now he's rich. Because he asked questions. Is that not where it should go?
I think he's trying to portray himself in the song. As like a martyr? No, how do you say that?
A martyr? Really?
Like someone not as dramatic, but like someone that defies the system. You know what I mean? Someone that will rise up and tell people how it is, and just, and then also because he says afterwards, "Folge meiner Besinnung," right? Which means like pretty much like I'm following my conscience, right? So like I'm doing what I think is right.
He's not a sheep. He's not following the crowd.
That That's what this term people use to say. So yeah.
Okay, and then Kollegah, neue Zeiten beginnen. Awesome.
But then you have the hook that totally doesn't fit in.
Which is that's the best part. Cocaine in the crack.
I was just letting you know that we're being controlled by.
It's just like.
And now let's cut to the cocaine and the crack.
Yeah, a lot of women hate me, but that's only because they used to love me. These are the only words I could sing. Damals in Mazda. Damals war wir unterwegs mit Kollegah in Mazda.
Kollegah in Mazda?
Mazda, der Mazda 3.
Skion.
Ja, jetzt läuft's. Jetzt läuft es immer in Skion. In Skion lifestyle. Wow, yeah, I know it's getting late for you, I'm sure. You work, right?
I'm home, dude. Relax.
Okay. Okay.
Not a big deal, dude. Not a big deal.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, let's wrap this up, and I'm gonna just...
Okay, nice. So off the record now?
So, no. Well, we're gonna have to close this out.
Alright.
Okay?
Right.
Well, now we have to cut that out. But, Niels, thank you, just for doing this, because this was actually gonna be... This was gonna be like a 30-minute, really just Q&A between you and me, and then I was like, oh, let's make it into a podcast. And I've never done anything like this before. there was really no plan, and I think it went really well. Mostly because of your willingness to do it and take the time.
Yeah,
so thank you. Seriously. I know a lot of people are going to appreciate this. Even my birthers, what do they call it? What do they call the people who were fighting Obama's birth certificate?
The birthers?
Yeah.
I think they said birthers, right?
Yeah, even my birther fans that say I'm a German pretending to be American. I know they're going to...
For the record, I can't say that that's true 100%.
Oh, come on!
No, like, man, I remember meeting you for the first time. You were such a shy, like, little American kid.
I mean, I don't know, like...
No, I'm just saying, like, it's so impressive. Like, you know, like, you're just, like, how you've evolved, and also, like, of course, you're German. You know, like, when I met you, you essentially spoke nothing, you know? I mean, like, a few words, of course, you know, but... just now, and mostly was, you know, from music, I guess, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Until I got Rosetta Stone, it was all from music.
Yeah, and that's quite impressive.
And then
really.
Going to Germany, yeah, well, thank you. I mean, I mean, if anyone would take something from this video, it's mostly just kind of passion, I guess. I like to do things and do them, like, obsessively. Or not at all, you know. I still Clash, man. That's the thing I need to stop. I still play Clash Royale. I need to stop playing. It's so addicting. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine like your skill level, even mine. It's like the top like 2% in the world of who plays that game. Like, it's just that's a sad fact. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, thank you for the compliments. I like it. I enjoy it. Always did.
Yeah, you've earned it.
But well, thank you. Thank you for doing this, and yeah.